Hello people of the internet, welcome to Paint to Life, the YouTube channel where I paint, share some lore, and a unique story for D&D creatures that you can take to make your own or just listen to and enjoy. Let's get right into talking about tonight's painted creature, a water genie known as a Marid. I'm GM Atank, let's get painting. In cultural mythology, genies are supernatural creatures found in early Arabian religious systems and then later in Islamic mythology and theology. In D&D, however, genies are rare elemental creatures out of story and legend. Outsiders composed in part of the element of their native elemental planes. They are born out of rare circumstances where the soul of a sentient living creature melds with primordial matter of an elemental plane coalescing to form a genie. Usually, they retain no connection to the soul that gave it form. That life force is nothing more than a building block that determines the genie's form as well as gender and one or two key personality traits. Now, genies acknowledge gods as very powerful entities, but have no desire to court or worship them. They find the endless fawning of religious devotees tiresome, except of course if they have that kind of worship directed at them by their worshipful slaves. So there are four types of genies, one for each of the four main elements. From the elemental plane of fire, we get the Ifriti. These are lawful evil, deceptive, cunning, and cruel to the point of ruthlessness. From deep within the elemental plane of earth, we get the Deo, neutral, evil, greedy, malicious genies that are only happy if they are the envy of other Deo. Hailing from the elemental plane of air are the Jinn. They're chaotic good, known for their sense of mischief and favorable attitude towards mortals. I think this is the genie we're more familiar with in Western civilization, the Jinn. And finally, from the Maelstrom, that is the elemental plane of water, comes the most wondrous of genie kind, the Marid. I'll admit it kind of looks like Boss Nass from the Phantom Menace. The Marid is a genie of water, chaotic neutral, an elemental creature of the open seas. Capricious and vindictive, they respect no authority and have little empathy for mortal beings. They are said to be the most powerful of all genie kind, and they sure act like they know it. They treat all others, including other genies, as inferiors of various grades, ranging from poor cousins to petty annoyances. Now, the exception to this rule are certain wizards that Marids find fascinating, leading some to be captured by said wizards, bound to items as servitors forever, or at least until the wizard dies, and then that genie will be trapped, lost to the ages. Which leads me right into the story of the Marid that I'm painting tonight. So who is this? Over 100 years ago, in the scorched, barren deserts of Calimshan and Faerun lived a good-natured Shiek named Haseid Jassan. Haseid led about 100 nomadic families through the wastes, from oasis to oasis, until one day he discovered a great blessing in a valley nestled between two canyon walls. Trees and vegetation were growing tall to betray that there was something hidden beneath the sands. Sure enough, Haseid discovered an underwater source of fresh water, and thus the town of Ratab was founded. Just 10 short years later, and there were over 1,000 people living prosperously in Ratab. So many, in fact, that the underground water was being consumed faster than it was being naturally replenished from its underground sources. It was there in that time, while down inspecting the caves for an estimation of the amount of water left, that Haseid first stumbled upon the large conch shell, approximately 4 feet long, that had no earthly business being there. As he wiped at his brow from underneath his traditional keffiyeh that covered his head and hung down his neck, a bead of sweat dripped from his nose and struck the conch. Magic light radiated throughout the cave, and the conch started bubbling over with water, from out which poured a Marid. The creature floated approximately 8 feet tall, and its waist turned into a bubbling jet of water that kept it tethered to the conch shell from which it emerged.
Where is Master? I am Master's property. Yet I have not been summoned in thousands of years, it seems.
I am no one's master. We are all free men. Who are you?
Then I am called No One.
Haseid wonders if a magical creature such as this had the ability to grant 3 wishes, such as the genies in fables.
If you were capable of granting me 3 wishes, I would wish to save my village, and I would be so grateful I would also wish to release you, so you would never know another master. Selfless wishes, to be sure.
The Marid pursed its fish-like lips and then responded.
Very well. No one will do this for you, and then you will resummon me to free it.
I wish for water for Ratab.
The Merid called no one waves his trident and disappears. Meanwhile, the conch begins to overflow with water. Wells, rain barrels, cups, tubs, and even bowls in people's homes all fill. The water caves beneath the city, deep down in the Underdark, all magically flooded with water. Shiek Haseid finds fame and ironically becomes known as the Master of Moisture. He relishes watching the people's suffering end. He moves the conch to his house and plans to honor his promise to the Merid, once he's found some free time, of course. Years pass, and Haseid holds the conch in his hands again, summoning the Merid once more. As it's released again from its prison, the Merid recognizes that its summoner is now worse for wear. Years have indeed passed, and all around them, Ratab is now a large city, and Haseid is now being addressed by his people as the Sultan of Streams. You see, when word of their plentiful water supply spread throughout the desert, people from all the lands flooded, no pun intended, to join them, and now, while they have a city, they've exhausted their water supply.
I need a permanent source of water for my people, something that won't run out.
How can no one trust a man who has already broken his word once?
Look, I know I promised to release you when we next met, but I need to use another wish first. Once my people are safe and sound, I swear, by all that is holy, I will release you from bondage.
We shall see.
Not trying to hide the disappointment from its voice.
I wish for an endless supply of water for Ratab.
With a wave of its trident, the Merid grants a wish and disappears. Not minutes later, from high above the canyon, a rushing river blasts over the edge, sending water racing from the distant mountains, right there through the valley, down, refilling their water caves all the way to the ocean. The Gisani River was wished into existence. The Ratabi population dove in, drinking, bathing, frolicking in the beautiful, crisp, clean water. Haseid looked at the conch and thought of the Merid still trapped inside, waiting. But he's being celebrated again, and while he does intend to honor his promise, he feels he should wait, just in case there are any future problems. And problems there will be. 5 prosperous years pass. Ratab is now a large metropolis with docks at the Gisani River and a population of over 50,000. Their leader, now named Caliph Haseid, is celebrated by everyone as a savior. The population is completely ignorant on how he cheated these miracles. The newly formed Gisani River, however, has been eroding riverbed, desert, and canyon floor for years now, all the while absorbing salt from the desert substrate, and subsequently, the water has become too salinated to drink. It's salt water now. To make matters worse, the sheer volume of water had blended with and permanently destroyed the freshwater springs underneath the city. Haseid carried his conch to the center of the palace and commands everyone bid him privacy. Once again, he summons the Merid. No one emerges and takes stock of its surroundings. After realizing how much time has again passed, recognizing the change in the city, Haseid's clothes and the title, the Merid sarcastically quips,
Hello, Master. I take it you are not summoning me to release me as promised.
Angrily, Haseid barks.
Look, I promised to release you, but all of your wishes failed, and now it's worse than ever, as I have so many people, and they're going to kill me. You caused this problem, and now you are going to have to fix it.
I should have known better than to trust a mortal like yourself. You say your wishes are selfless, but they've all been designed to keep you in power, nothing more.
You've left me no choice.
If you really cared about your people, you would have taken the time to word your wish properly, like saying, I wish to have control of the water. But you can't wish for that now, because honor dictates you must use your last wish to free me as promised.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that. I must use my last wish for my people. Once everything is better, and there are no more issues in Ratab, then you can give me another wish, and I will wish you free. I, Caliph Haseid, wish to have control of the water.
The Marid's eyes turn to slits, its mouth cracks into a smile.
As you wish.
Tendrils of water strike out and surround Haseid's arms and legs, tearing his screaming soul from his body, while another emerges from the Marid's chest and strikes the Caliph in the forehead. Their two souls magically switch places, and the Marid's body, now with the soul of Haseid, gets dragged down deep into the conch, through the portal to the elemental plane of water, which remains open, continually spilling out fresh water. The soul of the Marid looks down at his now human hands and solid legs for the first time since he can remember, and with his conch of limitless water, he prepares to bring his people watery salvation once again. The Marid, no one. Alright, what did you think of the story of the Marid, no one? Here it is for the shelf. The painting video that runs up here in this corner will be released on the Paint to Life channel, so make sure you like and subscribe, as well as turn on notifications for notification when that happens, if you want more information on how I painted and made that model. It's been a while since I put out an episode, with holidays and life just getting busier. I missed you, but if you're still watching this at this point, I'll keep making them just for you, my friend. Help support your friendly local gaming store by heading down, picking up some miniatures and some miniature paints and brushes, and give miniature painting a try. Make sure you tell them GM Atank sent you. That's all I have for you for tonight. Happy New Year. Have a great 2022. Stay safe. And remember, wash your hands, people. Haseid looked at the Haseid looked at the